What is going on? This is your boy Jordan JC. I am back again on the ATS report. Been gone for a few days. I was actually out a little bit under the weather, but I am back ready to give you good content. And today I wanted to talk about this past Sunday's NFL game, one in particular, the Buffalo Bills defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 20-17. Not the final score that I really want to talk about. I think you all already know because it's been a few days, but this has been the topic of discussion from that game is just some of the after effects and aftermath of the loss that the Chiefs had and how they went about losing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, on the last drive for the Chiefs in the fourth quarter, I believe it was under a minute to go, Pat Mahomes on first down threw a ball to Travis Kelce. They were trying to get in field goal range, but he threw a ball to Travis Kelce. Very good ball, dot to him. And then Travis Kelce lateraled over to an open Kadarius Toney coming down the sideline. And Kadarius Toney basically went in untouched. Touchdown, 6 points, right? No. So there was a flag on the play. And the reason why there was a flag on the play is because from the very beginning, Kadarius Toney, you could see it clear as day, was lined up offsides before they hiked the ball. And if you look at the freeze frame picture, it's so blatantly obvious that you can't even see the ball. Like Kadarius Toney, his foot, his leg, everything was in the way of the ball. So it was so obvious. It wasn't like, you could give it or take it. Okay, we'll throw away that one since it's a pivotal part of the game and this is clutch time. We'll let it go. No, it was blatantly obvious. And how did Patrick Mahomes handle it? Well, not so well. This is probably the most unprofessional I have seen Patrick Mahomes act in his career. You noticed his antics on the sideline. You noticed how he was barking at the refs. And you notice even when he came up to greet Josh Allen, he was talking to him about how horrible the call was and that, under a minute left, you don't call a call like that because that just changes the momentum of the game. And here's what he actually had to say word for word after in his interview. He said, just in the moment, not for myself, I know how much everybody puts into the game, and to have a flag change the outcome of the game. I've just played for 7 years and I've never had an offensive offsides called. That's elementary school. You point to the ref and they warn you. There was no warning throughout the entire game. You wait until there's a minute left in the game and you make a call like that? It's tough, man. Lost for words. Regardless, if we win or lose, it's another game. We're talking about the refs. It's just not what we want for the NFL and for football. So on one end, yes, there is something to be said about in sports. You do not want those who are managing or calling the game to kind of have the spotlight. The spotlight should be on the players, the entertainment, the excitement of the game. And in those pivotal moments, you want to see the teams do their best to win, right? Yeah, of course. But at the same time, if there's something that is just so obvious that the refs can't kind of look the other way or turn their head and say, okay, we'll let that pass for the sake of the sport or for the sake of the moment. They have to do their job. That's what they get paid for. And I think in this moment, it was very unprofessional for Patrick Mahomes, who I'm sure had enough time to go back and check the film and see that Kadarius Toney did not do his job. And for then him to mention that, oh, it's on the refs to say, that there's a thumbs up. No, well, the players are supposed to be looking to the sideline to see if they're okay. They look left to right and they say, hey, am I good? Okay, yeah, I'm good. Now let's start the hike. But he didn't do that. He clearly was looking, I don't know if he was looking at the ball, because in the freeze frame, it looks like he was looking at the ball, and which was even more crazy, because if he was looking at the ball, he should have known he was offsides. Or he was just looking past the ball, passed down to the other sideline. So either way, he didn't check to see if he was good. That's on him. That's on the player. The refs aren't supposed to run out there and say, hey, Kadarius, you're offsides. They don't interrupt the game like that. And so for Patrick Mahomes to make it seem like it was so bad and it's on the refs and they're taking away from the lure of the game, that was just a bad moment, I think, for him. And to double down on that after kind of the moment has passed, because I get in the moment, a competitor is always going to be charged up and amped up to want to win, especially someone like Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks we have in this game, and probably before it's all said and done, probably one of the better quarterbacks to ever have picked up a football. But I think this is a stain on his resume and his career, just because it almost seemed as if he threw a tantrum. I don't hold back and I'm just keeping it real. It looked as if he threw a tantrum because maybe he thought that because he is who he is and they are who they are, that they were supposed to be awarded that sort of pass or get out of jail free card in a sense. And it just is not going to fly that way. You can't allow the refs to not do their job. There are times when referees in all sports, and coaches too, like we look past certain things. We give superstars superstar calls, right? Like in basketball, you can see maybe a Giannis or a LeBron or a Jokic maybe get a few favorable calls, or maybe they missed a call for their team, and then they're like, you know what, next time down the court, if he gets a little contact, I'm going to call it, even if it isn't really blatantly obvious. Those things happen, right? Those are the politics of the game. But when it's something that is so egregious and just overly just obvious, then the refs did their job. So I think that they were right in the way that they handled this. Of course, a lot of people are saying that they didn't. And maybe some of those are, most of those people are probably Chiefs fans. But, you know, of course, every person is going to be a little bit more biased about their own personal teams. I'm sure if, you know, Justin Fields did the same thing and he threw to, say, Velus Jones, but Velus Jones lined up offsides to begin with, you know, I would have probably been like, oh, they could have let that pass, because you want to see your team win. That's obvious. But if we're just being honest, you look past the moment, you look past the competitiveness of it, it was the right call. And the crazy thing is, here's another thing I want to mention. That wasn't the end all be all of the game. The fact is, what happened after that, they could have gotten a score after that. On 2nd and 15, Mahomes had an incomplete pass. On 3rd and 15, Mahomes incomplete pass. 4th and 15, Mahomes incomplete. And so it wasn't as if that was their very last chance to score. Even though that might have kind of shook them a little bit, Mahomes is a professional. He's a superstar in the league. He's one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the league. And so he had chances to make up for that call, which was correct. And so it wasn't like they still had a chance to not a chance to win, or to even be in the field goal range to tie up the game against Buffalo. And so I just want to say that on this particular issue, you got to go with the refs. I know a lot of people are going to feel a certain way. That's just how I feel, because, of course, it was way too obvious. If it wasn't just a little bit, no, okay, maybe we could sway towards the other way and say, yeah, you kind of let that go because, you know, in the moment, teams are trying to win. And that was a very good play that they made that ended up in a touchdown that ultimately got called back. And so how do you guys feel about that? I know many people are going to be on both sides of the fence, and some are going to say, hey, the reality is the refs did their job, and they called a good game. Or do you feel like Patrick Mahomes is in the right for saying, yo, hey, the refs are not doing what they're supposed to be doing? You know, they're being too much in the spotlight as far as in the moment of the game. And so, you know, a lot of people feel that they were wrong for taking up those points away. Of course, I know Chiefs fans are going to feel that way, but I want to get you guys' opinion on what you think of that. Again, I am back with the content. I'm gonna have a few more videos coming out very soon. But yeah, let me know how you feel about this topic. I will see you guys in the comment section. As always, if you like this video, show some class, comment, like, subscribe, share this video with others, and I'll see you guys on the next ATS report.